This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
The Tasmanian Liberal Party has today announced Northwest farmer Gavin Pearce will be its Braddon candidate at the next federal election. The current president of the Wynyard RSL will take on Labor's Justine Key with an election due next year. Mr Pearce says it's an honour to be selected and he's ready to fight for the seat. Earlier this year, Liberal candidate Brett Whiteley was beaten by Labor in the Braddon by-election, meaning the party continues to hold no lower house seats in Tasmania. 5 years on from the inferno which devastated Dunalley, the local fire brigade is again banding together. The community attending its 50th anniversary, reflecting on events past and recognising the tireless commitment from its volunteers.
The town may be rebuilt now, but this was the scene facing Dunalley and its surrounds just 5 years ago.
Very, very trying times for the community as a whole, not just as a fire brigade, but the Dunalley region.
While crews from across Tasmania and interstate battled to contain the inferno, it was too close to home for those from the Dunalley Fire Brigade.
We lost upwards of 200, 190 odd houses, but the good thing is we didn't lose any lives. So, there was 23,000 hectares of land lost.
Been a lot of lessons that have come out of that event.
Today, the brigade's celebrating its 50th anniversary.
Really, really proud day for the brigade, established here in Dunalley, back associated just after the 67 bushfires.
Among the many recognised for their tireless service is Kevin Daly, acknowledged for his 40 years of volunteering.
You know, it's a commitment. They're giving something back to their community. It's quite a challenge. Yeah.
He's witnessed tragedies unfold, but says his service has been and will continue to be worth it.
It's very rewarding if you actually save some property. You do get, you walk away from it feeling, I've actually achieved something today.
It's a commitment that runs in the Daly's blood, with family members past and present signing up to keep their community safe. Kevin's nephew Andrew is one of them.
Helping out and turning up at jobs and doing what you're asked, and whatever comes your way, you just go ahead and do it.
While partners and children don't fight on the front line, their support is invaluable.
Those mothers, those wives, those people that all back us up, that keep the home fires burning, pardon puns.
A community continuing to band together.
When the truck goes out, everyone looks and gives you a wave, and so, there's a lot of respect there, I think, at the end of the day, to the brigades.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Back home, and after significant community backlash, the government has agreed to give special environmental protection status to land near the future site of a commercial rock lobster hatchery south of Hobart. Taroona residents protested against the build, which they say would threaten vulnerable habitats in the area. But just ahead of a community meeting today, part of the site was given a conservation covenant, meaning its environmental values must be protected.
The site for this facility was never going to be in the environmentally sensitive areas. We understand, and we've done a lot of sort of due diligence on this site, and we've never had any intention to sort of affect the sort of areas that are currently under concern.
It's actually Tasmanian blue gum forest and foraging habitat for the nationally endangered swift parrot, and it's used extensively by the community.
Plans for the world first hatchery have not yet been given to council. Passenger numbers on the Spirit of Tasmania have reached an all-time high. A record 448,764 passengers used the service during the last financial year. TT Line also transported record freight volumes for the second year in a row. The current Spirits will be replaced by two larger vessels in 2021. Porsche enthusiasts from across the globe are celebrating the 70th anniversary of the model's production. Here in Tasmania, the iconic car lovers were treated to an historic collection on Hobart's waterfront, including a rare model worth almost $1 million.
Whether you pronounce it Porsche or Porsche, for those with a passion, this is paradise.
So I do like the classics. It's really nice to see them.
70 of the iconic cars were on display at Hobart's waterfront, a celebration to mark the model's first production in Germany 70 years ago.
The first Porsche was registered in June 1948, and it's the older model 356, which is now morphed into the current models like this one.
Have won over 35,000 motorsport victories. worldwide. So, and of course, this is what runs through the veins of all Porsche owners.
This 991 version of the 911 on display and gaining some well-deserved attention. It's owned by a local businessman and came for a pretty penny, but for good reason, with only 25 of them in Australia.
They made 991 worldwide, and you're looking at there's only one in the state, and that's about $800,000.
For some, owning one is just a dream, but for others, it's a happy reality.
This little 356 is a 1958. It's a 1600 Super. It has 75 horsepower, and I bought it about 30 years ago.
Dreaming starting young, with this 8-year-old getting his first taste of a sports car.
Because it's fast and it looks awesome.
The owner agreeing, tipping his hat at his beloved and its ability for a smooth Sunday drive.
Porsche Boxster, beautiful car, takes me back to my youth. Drop the top down, go for a spin, sunny day. It's just absolutely wonderful.
And if you're in the market for a new set of wheels, be prepared to fork upwards of $90,000. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
5 young Tasmanians from disadvantaged suburbs have been given a helping hand. $17,000 in scholarships from Community Housing Limited will help these recipients reach their academic and sporting goals. The scholarships were presented by North Launceston Premiership coach Zane Littlejohn and world champion boxer Daniel Gill.
That little bit of a leg up, give you that little bit of extra confidence. Give you the ability to want to strive for something a little bit higher as well. And, hopefully kids can see that and take this opportunity by the horns.
The recipients hope to further their work in areas including photography, legal studies and athletics. The Tasmanian whisky has taken out a top honour in what many call the holy grail of international recognition. A drop from Kempton's Belgrove distillery has just been labelled liquid gold by a world-renowned critic, and it's just the beginning for the local producer.
Preparing his award-winning drop, this whisky distiller named among the very best in the world. It all started here 8 years ago on the family farm at Kempton. Now Belgrove Distillery has been named the Southern Hemisphere's Whisky of the Year.
This year I scored 96.5. The highest score in the world is 97.5, so it wasn't very far off the highest in the world.
Named up in the 2019 edition of the internationally famous Whisky Bible, it was Belgrove's peated rye that earned the status of liquid gold.
Unlike malt whisky, which is made out of malted barley, the rye is a little bit spicy and peppery, and it certainly has hints of rye bread.
It's the 7th award of its kind won by Belgrove. To top it off, the distiller will also be heading to London next year, in the running to be named International Craft Distiller of the Year.
We're not really concerned on making alcohol. Alcohol has to be there to carry the flavours, but we just don't concentrate on the alcohol production. It is concentrate on making beautiful flavours.
All of the whisky made here at Belgrove Distillery uses grain grown here on the family farm at Kempton. Any of the leftovers go back to feeding the sheep.
Always got little projects on the go. The next one is to make a very, very heavily peated whisky, really smoky, that's probably smokier than anything else in the world's been made it.
Always on the lookout for his next great concoction. Michelle Wisby, Southern Cross News.
Craft lovers from across Australia have gathered in Hobart this weekend to learn from some of the nation's best. It's the first time the Craft Alive Festival has been held in Tasmania, with thousands turning out to see what's on offer. From craft lessons to awards for best quilts, the festival showed off the very best in needlework, card making and scrapbooking.
Craft is a passion. It's an expression. And that really does show through the people that have come this weekend.
Craft Alive continues at Macquarie Point tomorrow.
Tasmanians aiming to hit targets on archery's world stage now have another way to make the mark. The state's first indoor range allows locals to qualify for more competitions all year round.
Protected from the elements, this indoor archery range is the perfect playground for the pros to practice. Matthew Everett has competed around the world at outdoor events, but only now can he qualify for indoor tournaments without having to set up a makeshift range.
Previously we would have to like rent out a school hall or like a gymnasium and shoot there, but we wouldn't be able to do that very often. Like it'd be only once or twice a year that we could do that.
The year-round access will help him prepare for senior ranks in 2019.
Nowhere in Tassie's been able to do this before.
Today's opening of the $170,000 facility drew a crowd to Baringa Archers, from first-timers
Yes! I did it!
to perhaps the state's most experienced eagle eye in 94-year-old John McKenzie.
A lot of my mates at work used to say, oh, Robin Hood or cowboys and Indians.
But the potential financial benefits to the archery club are no laughing matter.
Schools used to get a bus and come up, and sometimes the heavens would open up, so we'd have to turn them away.
The club will pay for the new range's upkeep by hiring it out to community and corporate groups.
We came here in '82 as an archery club, and that was when they first put a plan together for a shed, and we've only just been able to raise all the funds to get it done. So it's been quite an achievement.
Local baseballers had the chance to learn from one of the country's top coaches. Gary Everson, who works as the coaching coordinator for the sport's national body, was passing on pitching tips on the diamond today. He says enthusiasm for the sport in Tasmania is heading in the right direction after interest peaked in the 70s and 80s.
Baseball's been down in Tassie since the 1800s sometime, so it's not that new, it just hasn't been particularly well supported, but we hope to change that.
Everson says changing the perception of baseball from being a strictly American sport is one of the biggest challenges to overcome. And athletes competing in the Tassie's Better with Balance Challenge are about to finish their gruelling 7-day journey. Competitors travelled from Myena to New Norfolk in today's penultimate round, after running, cycling and kayaking from Georgetown to the West Coast and then into the Central Highlands. The endurance athletes will cross the line in Hobart tomorrow afternoon after covering more than 1,000 kilometres across the state. The event raises money for mental health and wellbeing programs.
Good evening. A fine and sunny day for most, with the exception of the northwest, which is mostly cloudy with a few light showers. A pleasant 21 in Hobart today, 22 in Launceston, Burnie 17, while Devonport reached 18. The state's top was 23 degrees at Strawn, Grosvenor News 22, Campania and Medina 21, Flinders Island 20, 19 on King Island, St Helens and Smithton 18, Low Head up to 17 degrees with temperatures as much as 6 degrees above the average. On the close-up today, mid to low level cloud across the north of the state, about Flinders Island. The remainder mostly cloud free. To the satellite, a mid to low level cloud over Victoria, also with cloud and thunderstorms over Queensland, high level cloud blanketing New South Wales. To tomorrow now, and a high will remain in the Tasman Sea, directing a north to northeasterly flow over the southeast of the country. A trough remains over the Queensland coast while a cold front moves over southern WA. Coastal waters and northeasterly winds at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots in the east and west. Swells below a metre in the north, around a metre for the east. A strong wind warning is in place tomorrow from Low Rocky Point to Stanley, from the northern tip of Flinders Island to St Helens Point, also from Wineglass Bay to South East Cape. Sunday's forecast now: Hobart, Richmond and Ouse, all a pleasant 23, partly cloudy. A shower in Launceston 21, a possible shower for Devonport 17, showers for Deloraine 17 there also. A morning shower for Burnie 17, Strawn, fine and sunny 23, Curry looking a top of 21. A shower for St Helens tomorrow 17, Swansea becoming windy 18, and a mostly sunny day for Whitemark 21 the top there. The UV forecast starting to creep up, tops of 6 right across the state. Looking ahead to Monday, morning showers about the elevated north, fine elsewhere until showers develop about the west later on. Tuesday, showers for the west but mainly fine elsewhere. And finally Wednesday, rain extending statewide in the morning. Perth tomorrow, a possible storm and 20 degrees. Darwin, a possible storm, also 33. Showers for Brisbane and Sydney 21. Canberra, a shower and 19. Adelaide, a warm 29. Melbourne, a fine day and 27 degrees.
Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow night at 6. But for now, it's good night.